Have you ever had a guy threaten to beat up your mum? Because I have. This guy, I'm going to call him James. I met James through a friend who I will call Ruby. So I left foster care when I was 17 and I was very lucky that I got my own flat. And that was very lucky. A lot of them end up in these dirty little hostels or these secure units or in caravans. So I was very lucky. The problem with having your own place at 17 is people, it's a bit like, you know, if you're the first one in your group that learns how to drive, people then might always ask you for lifts. People thought that because I was living alone at 17 that my house could be like the party house, and people soon learned that it couldn't be. Because I had a 6-month-old baby. There was no way. People used to turn up to my house uninvited, which was really frustrating because it would always happen to be when I was in the middle of giving my daughter a bath or when I was in the middle of cooking dinner. People would just turn up. So in the end, I had to say to my friends, don't do it. If you want to come over, just text me and I'll probably say yes, but don't just turn up unless it's an emergency. If it's an emergency, come. Come at 2 in the morning, I don't mind. My friend Ruby had her own place as well. She had lived in a hostel from the age of 16 and then got her own place when she was 18. She was a year older than me. This guy, James, so when I was 18, he was 21. He lived in a hostel as well, but I don't know his circumstances. I don't know why. So I met James through Ruby. So me and Ruby are really close. Ruby and James are really close, but me and James weren't that close. Like I met him maybe 7 or 8 times and we got on really well, but I wouldn't have said me and him were close, especially compared to him and Ruby. So one day I'm just at my house, just chilling. And the only time I saw James was with Ruby. So if James was at my house, it was because Ruby was there as well. If I was at Ruby's house, James might be there as well. One day I give my daughter a bath and then I put her to bed and then I jump in the shower. I did not touch my phone for 2 hours. When I came back to my phone, I swear to God, I had 50 missed calls and like 20 WhatsApp messages. And it was James. And the text started out like just, oh, what are you doing? Can you answer your phone? It's important. By the end of the text message, it was so aggressive. He started texting me things like, answer your fucking phone. How are you too fucking busy to answer your phone? What's so important? And the last message he sent me was, I'm staying at your house. I need to stay at your house, so I'm coming over. No. The minute you start demanding stuff from me, I don't want to do it anymore. You know, it's a bit like, imagine you're about to do the washing up. Like you're literally about to do it and then your mum's like, do the washing up, and you don't want to do it anymore. Call it childish, call it whatever you want, but I'm like that. The minute someone starts demanding something from me, I don't like it. And especially my friends, like I said to my friends, if my friend ever wanted to stay with me, they could. Like I had it where one of my friends literally fell out with her parents for a month. She lived with me for a month. The reason I let her live with me for a month is because she asked me nicely, can I stay at yours, please? I need somewhere to stay. Do you mind? Go for it. And if this man had asked me nicely, I would have let him stay at mine because, like I said, we weren't close, but I knew him well enough to think he was an okay person. But because he started demanding it, like he literally, I'm not exaggerating when I say one of his text messages said, I'm staying at yours, I instantly went on the defence and I was thinking, no, you're not. You don't just demand. And like I said, with all the swearing, he was getting aggressive. So I texted him back and I was like, what do you mean? What's going on? I didn't want to ring him because I'm like, look how aggressive he is. I don't want some grown man to be shouting at me on the phone. I'm not ringing him back. I'll text him. And basically he was saying that he didn't pay his rent. He didn't pay his rent for his hostel. I don't know why. But because he didn't pay the rent, they were kicking him out that evening. So he needed somewhere to stay. If he'd asked nicely, I would have said, okay, fair enough. Because my daughter was with her dad that weekend. She wasn't even with me. So it's not like my daughter would have seen some random man walking around the house. But no, because he was aggressive, I replied and I was like, you can't, sorry. You can't. I started lying. I know I made excuses because I was like 18, 19. I was a bit more wary of like aggressive men back then. So I made up, I think I said like something like, oh, my friend's already staying with me or I'm not here this weekend. I made up some excuse why he couldn't stay. So then he started calling me every name you can think of. You stupid bitch. Da, 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 da. You're a slag. I'm going to beat your mum up. I'm going to come to your house and break your door down. Like I swear to God. And I literally just replied, because he is so angry now. I literally just replied and I was like, I dare you. And then I blocked him. Never spoke to him again. Never had any issues. He didn't come to my house, none of that. But it was only the next day that I was thinking, why didn't he ask to stay with Ruby? Because Ruby had her own place as well. And him and Ruby were a lot closer. So why didn't he that was really annoying me. Why didn't he just ask to stay with Ruby? And he never even asked Ruby. Like, I rung her about it and I was like, you know he's doing this, like he's being all aggressive. And she was like, what the fuck? I've never seen that side of him. And I was sending her screenshots to prove what I was saying. And she was like, he didn't even ask to stay at mine. And now I want to know why. Because him and Ruby were a lot closer. She had space for him. I think it's because he knew Ruby would say no. Like, Ruby was less of a people pleaser than I was back then. Like, I don't think I'm a people pleaser now, but I definitely was back then. But even she was like, well, if he'd asked me nicely, I would have let him. To this day, I don't know why he didn't ask Ruby. Me and him have not spoken since. I haven't even bumped into him, thank God. And this was like a good 8-9 years ago now. It's just really fucking bizarre. But anyway, I just wanted to share The time that someone threatened to beat my mum up.